Time for a lie-in. Chris Moyles, Radio 1's longest-serving breakfast show presenter, is to move on.
In Wales
Job
today.
he'd always dreamed of. He'll be leaving the show in September. Lisa Mazimba reports.
Here we go!
He's one of the biggest names in radio, the man who's presented the station's breakfast show since 2004.
Turn the radio up, put the kettle on.
Today he announced live on air to his millions of listeners that he's leaving in September.
So, I'm going to say it. Not the papers or Twitter, me. We're going to leave the breakfast show.
The role has helped him become one of broadcasting's best-known figures, meeting royalty.
I'd love to say we've been walking for 3 days.
Climbing Kilimanjaro for comic relief. But a figure never afraid to court controversy. In 2010, complaining on air that he hadn't been paid for 2 months. Chris Moyles' listening figures have always been high, but this change comes at a time when Radio 1 knows it has to look carefully at its audience. With the BBC Trust recently telling it, it has to work much harder to attract younger listeners. This is the man they're hoping can do that. At more than 10 years Chris Moyles Jr., Nick Grimshaw is best known for presenting on Channel 4 and for the shows he already does on Radio 1.
I think there will be a pressure, but I think I can't worry about that right now. I think we've just got to concentrate on doing a good show and working out what the new breakfast show's going to sound like.
The way rival station Kiss FM's breakfast hosts already attract younger listeners helped them win a Sony Award this year. They say audience interaction is key.
We go to the same club, the same festival, the same holiday destinations.
Yeah, and I think if you really want to up your game in radio and get a young audience, that's what you need to do. It's all about being interactive.
We have a brand new video.
Chris Moyles has helped define Radio 1 for the best part of a decade. With the challenges it faces, his successor has big shoes to fill. Lisa Mazimba.
Direct to their iPods or
I should
direct to their computers.
I should think that Radio 1 should accept the fact that it might not have to go for the biggest audience anymore.
Exactly. But that was certainly my view. I mean, yeah. I turned off millions of listeners when I was in charge of it. And it was my view that because what I was trying to do was justify Radio 1 as part of the BBC.
I was the only person you didn't get rid of.
You wouldn't be on set otherwise.
I saw it coming.
I mean, obviously, as you say, you turned off lots of listeners, you annoyed a lot of people internally when you got rid of them. How difficult is it as a controller to be making those decisions and actually having to tell the people that are going, your time is up? How do you kind of finesse that?
It's extremely difficult, and I think, you know, to be honest with you, I think I did it rather brutally and rather inelegantly, and I think they're doing it much more elegantly on this occasion, allowing Chris Moyles to announce his own departure on the breakfast show.
And they've done it mid-contract.
And you know, allowing it to be finessed in that way. Unfortunately, we were up against a lot of time pressures, and we were doing a major repositioning. Radio 1 was a really middle-aged radio station when I took over it, so I was moving it down a generation. This is, you know, fine-tuning. This is tinkering compared to what we were trying to do. But it's very hard to sit in front of a household name and to say to them, I'm very sorry, you no longer have a place on this radio station.
It's even harder when you're the household name.
It's fantastic to have a perspective from both sides of the divide. Tony, Matthew, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.